Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2015 Ford Falcon GT F351. Now this is part of the FG generation of the Falcon, which was produced between February 2008 and October 2014. Not quite sure why this is called the 2015 version. Maybe some leftover of the production from the prior year were sold in this year, but regardless, this was produced by Ford Performance Vehicles, who also did the Ute version of this, which is also on this game, but that admittedly has less power than this. And yeah, this has a wider 9-inch rear wheels, so for added grip. It's also got these really rather nice decals, blackened rims, and yeah, rear spoiler and quad exhausts. So it's all very sporty, but at the end of the day it is based on a normal saloon car, so plenty of room in the back for your passengers, a decent amount of boot space as well, as you can see, and yeah, it's overall a very handsome looking car. Not too outlandish over the base version, but it's definitely able to set itself apart from that base version. So yeah, all decent interior as well, nothing flashy. But still, for something that's 7 years old now, it's still fairly decent interior. And yeah, but what impresses most is the engine in this car, as it is a 5-litre supercharged V8 producing 471 horsepower and 420 pounds-feet of torque. Now that's 49 horsepower more than you get in that Ute that I mentioned, so a fair bit more powerful, but it does weigh 4,030 pounds, which is about 90-ish pounds more than the Ute, but at the end of the day you do get more practicality than the Ute, because that's more of a worker's vehicle, made for carrying large amounts of goods and whatever else, whereas this is obviously more your everyday vehicle for 3 extra passengers and a fair decent amount of boot space as well. So yeah, like I said in one of my earlier reviews or videos, I will be looking at cars that have somehow slipped through the cracks and not been reviewed on previous Forza Horizon games or previous Forza games in general, and yeah, this is one of them. But nonetheless, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. Right, so here we are at the drag strip, so we're going to see what this car can do first in a straight line, and then we'll get it around the track, because obviously this is a bit more of a sports orientated vehicle than the standard car. And yeah, the engine sounds pretty damn good. Sure, there's been plenty of saloon cars out there that have had V8s, but not many have a supercharged V8. I think the only other one I can think of that is modern is the Jaguar, but I think that's been a while since we've seen one of them around. I've had a V8, supercharged V8. I think Jaguar are now downsizing their engines quite a bit, but then again, I'm not completely clued up on modern Jaguars, to be honest, because we've not had that many in current Forza games, especially not of the V8 variety. But yeah, it's still a really good car, and it's a great shame that Ford's discontinued the Falcon in Australia, because they made a great many cars under the Falcon name. Right. Oh no, rivals. And we're in A-Class. It's got pretty good stats on this as well. It's quite an understated kind of car, to be honest. Yeah, the braking isn't the best, and the launch is a little bit down, because, of all the wheel spin, and yeah, the acceleration though is low, but it's not that bad at all. I'll tell you that when we get to the stats. But yeah, the handling is great, and the speed is really rather good as well. And despite being a rear-wheel drive saloon car, it's got a decent amount of off-road capability as well. But yeah, the stats in terms of what Forza has put on don't do this car very much justice, quite frankly, because this is far better in terms of acceleration than a 4.8 would suggest, as you'll see when we get it around the track. But yeah, let's find out. So yeah, you can get the launch good if you were gentle with the throttle. But yeah, I'll let you listen to this car for a little bit first, and then we'll talk about it some more. So yeah, it's got a superb sounding engine. I really do like the sound of it. And like I was saying, the acceleration times are a bit more representative of the acceleration of this than the 4.8 stat would have you believe. 0 to 60 is dealt with in 4.5 seconds. 0 to 100 is dealt with in 9.7 seconds. And it will go into a top speed of 189 miles an hour, which is, yeah, mighty impressive even by today's standards, let alone 7 or 8 years ago. So yeah, I really do like this car. It's also quite fun as well, but it's also serious when you want it to be. It will hang in on there if you are, you know, getting used to the way this car handles. But at the end of the day, you can also slide it out at will and you know, drift it around as you want. And yeah, I like that kind of split personality that it's got going for it, really. And at the end of the day, when you're able to do this, you're doing it in a car that is able to carry 3 other people, a fair decent amount of luggage, and is more than usable on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of these kind of cars. Yeah, it could be a little bit lighter, and yeah, it's far from the most powerful saloon car from this period. BMW were already above the 500 horsepower marks a few years before this with their V10 M5, so yeah, it's not, you know, like I said, the most powerful, certainly not the most show-offy, and yeah, in terms of badges, you can probably go a little bit higher in terms of, you know, brand recognition and luxury on the inside, but as a sports saloon, this does the job where it matters. Speed, acceleration, good looks. It's still a practical saloon car, and yeah, it's a great deal of fun when you want it to be, and you can't really ask for more than that. So yeah, I do hope we get some more Falcons or, you know, Fords from Australia, or you know, Holdens or anything like that really from Australia, because even though we had a great many in Forza Horizon 3 that we never had before, there's still a great many from Australia's car pass that we never had before, and I'd like to see more of them, quite frankly. But yeah, I have been apparently informed that there's a Chinese car pack coming to this game. I've seen the trailer, looks very convincing, but until Playground Games announce that it's for real, then yeah, then they'll get even more excited about it. But the trailer does look great, and we might well get a V8 MG that we've never had before. So yeah, really looking forward to that, if it is true. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching. I highly recommend trying out this car, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.